Hey everybody, welcome out to the Dice Tower. My name is Chris Yee.
I'm Joey Evans.
And I'm Tom Vasel.
Today we're taking a look at this game, Ring Circus. This is a very cheerful looking cover. Do you know the name of that tune is actually The Entrance of the Gladiator?
I do know that. And I wonder how those gladiators came out. They're like...
On unicycles, juggling.
I would watch that.
I think that's a picture of music being morphed. Like, that music probably didn't seem that way, but we now have it associated with circus.
We do.
And that's true.
You know what I associate with circuses? Popcorn.
Oh, definitely. And cotton candy, but that's not here, but
Yeah.
popcorn for sure.
But also now, apparently, Euro games. So this is a game from Fabio Piano and Remo Canzadori from Devir. I've enjoyed a lot of the stuff that Devir's put out lately. So this is a very enticing cover. Let's go ahead and show you how the game plays, then we'll share our thoughts. Here's an example setup of Ring Circus. This is the main board here in the middle, and then over on the side would be the player boards, and we'll be zooming in on that later. But to give you a brief overview of the game, you are a different traveling circus company, and you are going to be moving around the map, performing in small towns or in medium-sized cities like Pittsburgh here, or moving around to these capital or large cities and performing in those areas to get points and to get money, building up the size of your circus caravan to get larger and more spectacular. As you are doing so, the Barnum and Bailey caravan is moving around the outside track over here, triggering scoring in the different major cities, and then when it returns here to Boston, that'll be the end of the game. The first type of action you can take in this game is to build cards out into your board here. There are 3 rows on your board representing the 3 rings of your circus, and so you can add either of these types of cards to it. These are money cards, and these are ticket cards. Money cards on the front will show you how much money they are worth if you spend them as currency, but also these are performers that you can add to your circus as well. This one would cost $2 or be worth $2 if I was spending it to pay for another card. These will give me some immediate effects. I get to increase the number of pedestals that I have on my board, and then in the future, this can also increase pedestals if I play different types of cards to the right of it. Now, these ticket cards are specialized performers. They cost more, but they will give you points at the end of the game, shown guaranteed in the top right, and then conditional on the bottom of the card. So if on a future turn I wanted to add this performer out, I would have to spend more money. You have to spend enough money to pay for it, and this is its cost up here, in this case, 8. You also get a discount based on cards that are already in your play area. So if I had an 8 card out in the future, if I wanted to play out, say, a 10 level card, I only have to pay the difference. I already have up to 8 here, so this one would only cost me 2 more. Or if I wanted to add out a lower level card like this 6 here, it would be free, and I would slide this over into this area here so that they're always increasing. Anytime that you cover symbols here in the middle of your board, you get to draw extra cards, or you get points immediately, or you can switch things around on your board. The discount for future cards only applies within the same ring or the same row, so if I wanted to add this 3-level magician over here, I would have to pay for it, so I'd spend $3. Now you'll notice when I complete a column, I get certain bonuses based on which column it is that I've completed. In this case, I get to play out one of my scoring cards here. This is the last type of card in the game. So I could play this out here, and now based on this condition, I'll get additional points. When you play a card out here, so this 4 is free if I build it over here behind the 5. The 5 slides over, and because I either played a card out to or slid and covered up this symbol, I would get to draw a new scoring objective card, and I can get this played out if I complete this column here. Then I'll be able to cover up some other icons on my board and adjust my board state as is required. And that's playing cards. The second option you have on your turn is, instead of playing cards, you can perform. When you perform, you will move your color caravan a certain number of steps up to the number of steps of train showing on your player board, and from there you will decide where to stop. If you stop on a small town, you will plop down one of your big top circus tents over there, and no one else, including yourself, can perform there again. You will then earn money by these money cards based on how many dollar signs are showing on your player board, plus 1 for the small town itself and 1 for every connected small town, because those people will come and visit. So in this case, I would get 3 money cards, which are new cards I can add to my hand. One of the other important things of note is that whether you perform in a small, medium, or large city, there are certain types of cards you can play here that will increase values or give you more rewards. So I could discard this one here to be able to draw up 2 more money cards as part of my performance. Now, if I wanted to, in a future turn, perform here in a mid-sized city, say here in Pittsburgh, I'm going to reference over here. This is where the number of pedestals that you have on your player board matters. The further you moved up, the better reward you'll get. Plus, if you have this type of performer in your tableau, which I happen to do, I have a clown, I get 2 bonus here. So I would have, in this case, 7. So I would go up to 7, I would drop off one of my big tops on that number, or lower if I wanted. And I could choose a reward. I could either get 5 victory points, or I could get 3 ticket cards, which are these better performers I can take from the face up or from the top of the deck. I will also earn my regular money cards based on the money symbols that are showing on my player board. I can also boost this action if I wanted. The last type of performance is in the major cities. If you have this number of performer, the yellow 11, you'll get 6 points. If you have a purple to the left of it, you'll get 4 bonus points, and or if you have a green or teal to the right of it, you'll get a bonus 5 points. If you're the first person to perform in a major city, you get 3 points. If you're the second person to perform there, you get a bonus 1 point, and other people just get the benefits for performing. At the end of a performance, the Barnum and Bailey caravan is going to move 1 step. This acts as a little bit of a timer of the game. So after the next performance, it continues to move. Any time that any caravan, yours or the Barnum and Bailey, would move into a small town where there has already been a performance, it will skip over it instead. Eventually, when this one reaches the first major city, Indianapolis, it will trigger an area majority scoring. So whoever has performed the most in that region is going to get 10 points. Second place gets 6. Third place gets 3. The game continues, and this will move around until it reaches the next major city, triggering another scoring in that region. And then eventually when it reaches back to Boston, or the starting city, it'll trigger the scoring there and move to the end of the game. At the end of the game, you'll add points that you earn from your objective cards and from your face-up ticket performers over here to the points that you earned throughout the course of the game. So in this case, this one earns 3 points for having a yellow symbol to the right of it. This one earns 3 points for having a number 5 in your circus. And then over here, based on the number of tents that you've dropped in the Washington, D.C. region and how high up your pedestals are, you'll earn bonus and game points. Highest points is the winner. So as we said at the beginning, theme, very exciting. I was really looking forward to this one from the cover, from the name of the designers, from the company, but especially because of this theme.
Well, I will say those little circus tents are in my top 10 components of 2023.
Agreed.
They're really great. I like them a lot.
Yeah, they're wooden, they're screen printed. And I think they must have been like 2 pieces that were glued together, or maybe they were cut. They're very impressive either way.
Yeah. And this is one theme that kind of had worlds collide for me, because I have a lot of entertainer friends that are like, hey, have you heard of Ring Circus? And some have ordered this, so they're very excited about this.
You're not kidding.
No. And it's like, I'm like, okay, I'm wondering, are they going to like it or not? Because, they've surfaced it. I mean, King of Tokyo, they're like, hey, this looks great. I'm like, okay.
Gotcha.
Different style, okay? Because it looks, apparently their advertising, it looks really good as far as like for entertainers.
Well, the art is good.
It is.
It has a good look to it.
Yeah, it has that throwback poster, mid or late 19th century kind of poster vibe to it and everything.
Right.
I'm really impressed with how it looks, the production of it and everything. The actual theming to the game. Tom, how about you start? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Okay, so there's 2 themes. There is the circus, and then there is putting shows on in different spots and the Barnum and Bailey circus going around. That second part, that works. I put a circus on in the city. When you come, people are like, we already saw Tom's circus. So that part works.
Well, and I like the small little towns. If you perform there, you get bonus dollars because people from the nearby towns
That's
will
what
come.
I like too, because it's like, oh, well, there's a city over here, one town over, or there's a circus, let's go see it. But if it's already been there, they're not as excited about it. That's nice, yeah.
Right, so that half works. The part where you're putting a circus on, that means nothing. I'm putting numbers out and colors. that actually affects me a little bit. You know, like I want the acrobats to have some ability, like leaping does this, or the lion dangerous. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wanted to fill my circus in with all this stuff and get these bonuses and all. But it was
Mechanical.
you know, sometimes the theme hides the math framework. There's no hiding it here. I mean, to the point where they're like, you go to a town, they're not like, this town loves lions. They're like, no, this town wants to see a 13.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is
Yes.
a 13?
Yeah.
I mean, that for me detracts some from this, and it's because I like the theme so much. Like if this was a bit, you know, like some boring old build business, I'd be like, that's just the way it is. Here I'm like, oh man.
How do you feel?
I feel the same way. I'm with you on the theme is really great as far as moving from city to city. Like you say, you pull people from the sides, and also the bigger circus will skip a city that's had a smaller circus as it moves forward. It makes the game progress really good. And I do like the idea of certain cities like different styles of entertainment, which is thematic on different parts of the country, like different types of entertainment. But it does fall apart where they're just looking for certain numbers. And once you assemble that team, or the rings as they call it, that's where it falls apart, because you're not looking for what makes a good show. You are really wondering, it's like, okay, this guy needs these people in front of him, and you're going to move, and that theme falls apart at that moment. It becomes mechanical. That's the thing, which is fine. I mean, if you just know that going in, it does fall apart at that moment in that area for me.
I'll tell you the moment that my excitement for the theme kind of dwindled a little bit is when it said, these 3 rows represent the 3 rings of your circus.
Yeah, I
I was
know.
like, wait, that doesn't feel right for some reason.
I can't
and I'm
believe-
able to... I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. I'm like, I want them to be circles or something. I was like, I know, like, it
It's
sounds
petty.
silly to say it out loud, but yeah, I know. I was the same way. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's very petty.
Yeah.
That being said, I think that the game's mechanical underpinnings are well done. Like I say, part of it is thematic, part of it is absolutely mechanical. Just, you see the
Right.
gears, you see the numbers mechanical. If this game had come out 15 years ago, it would have been called, it would have been called some European city name. It would have had a medieval theme. It wouldn't have had this great cover. And the artwork, it would have just been brown and beige, and you would have done the exact same thing. It feels like a kind of a classic Euro game mechanically, where
Yeah.
each thing works well together. You kind of build up a bit of an engine. You get this discount if you add cards to the same row, which does it really make sense in any way thematically? No.
Yeah, that discount thing is an interesting mechanism. I don't know that I love it, because what it tells you is like, just buy the most expensive card.
Right.
Then everything else is free.
But you
Do you like
could-
free?
I like free, but you could kind of build it up, incrementally, and then you don't have to have all that money up front. You're spending it over the course of time, which
Sure.
is easier to manage. It's a good mechanism, but I can't figure out an easy way to teach it to people because it's so anti-thematic.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I like,
Oh, you already got some clowns? I'll work for free.
which is complete opposite.
Or the clowns, you've got to pay me extra.
You got to pay me more to work with those clowns. But but no, mechanically, I do like the mechanics of like the give and take as far as covering certain icons, things like that. So that part I do like. I enjoy that. But again, I went into expecting a bit more thing with that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I enjoy when you play things out, play out a new card. It might trigger some extra benefits from previously played cards. Who at the end of the game I'm really ramping up scoring, or I'm getting more of those the pillars or that little
pedestals?
The pedestals.
Yes, yeah.
So when I perform mid-sized cities, then I get even bigger bonuses and such. What you said about covering up symbols. You have a bunch of trains exposed at the beginning. It's easy to travel around when you have a light crew. You have more crew hired on. It's harder to move around the board. And I think those parts work both very well mechanically and thematically.
Yeah.
I do wish it just felt a little bit more, because otherwise when I'm playing cards, it's just like I'm playing an 8. I'm paying nothing for it.
Sure.
And I see what they try to do as far as like the theming, as far as like sliding the cards down, because you've got headliners, you've got, the beginner and different parts of the show, the large ones at the end. So I appreciate that, but
I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah, so that's
a good
the way
point.
I saw it. But
The warm-up acts and then the bigger things come
Right.
at the end.
Right.
Scoring, do you overall, I know that you said like the big city cards, like, do you have a 13? Lots of points.
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't want to keep harping on the theme. It's a thing.
Sure.
The mechanisms of the game, I'm not as enamored with them as you are. I get the whole building the little engine in front of you, although the game, there's a few problems I have. One, I can't tell how well anyone's doing. I'm assuming you're doing well. I mean,
Right.
There's points, but that end game scoring is so big. I'm like, you might be doing amazing. I don't know. But there's not a lot of impetus to not build a full row. To have
Yes.
three different rings, there's a 3-ring circus, but you can do pretty well with a 2-ring circus.
right.
Yes.
And the area control for me, and I love area control, left me really cold in this one. Because it is timed area control, based on the Barnum and Bailey moving around, and it gets less interesting as the game goes by. I love area control because I'm like, you're winning there, but I move over here, so you got to be careful. Near the end of the game, it's like, and we all just go here. If I didn't know where Barnum and Bailey is going, I might be more interested. Like, which spot will they go to next? It works. The thing is, I don't even really criticize this game in how it works. It just leaves me feeling cold. Like, I'm like, okay, I see these mechanisms, they work together, but nothing got me really excited.
Interesting. Okay.
I agree with that because the area control is, for me, it was barely there. I was something I did not focus on that much. I forego the beginning to build the troops, but then, yeah, and I agree
You
with
have
you
to
on
focus
that.
on it. It's a lot of points.
Yeah, it is, and towards the end, I realized I had not really been as focused on it. But towards the end, you do kind of. It does escalate towards the end. It has that build as they start moving faster, and you really only have 2 more places to go. So that speed kind of ramps up.
Maybe that's what it is. The first area control happens at some point. You're like, oh, okay.
So quick.
It takes a while for that first one because it's moving across like the
Yeah.
longest path, and then it just kind of starts firing almost every few turns.
Right, and the last one, you're like, holy cow, I feel like I should be able to do more things, and no, too late.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those where you have to balance out. Do you just rush to that first area that you know is going to score eventually, or do you kind of spread it out? And I like that part. I think definitely more than you do. And someone's going to say, of course, in the comments, it's more area majority than area control.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean area majority. Yes.
Yeah. So there's no combative nature to it. It's just kind of, did you perform the most in those regions?
Yeah.
There's
I
not
like
a
that.
ton of combativeness here, except that you are. I definitely cared what you were doing. I didn't care who you were recruiting into your fair.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't
right.
stop that. But I did care. Oh, you went to that city. Do I even want to bother going there now? Especially in the beginning of the game, money.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you're definitely cutting each other in different ways, but it's not super vindictive.
Yeah. Overall, on scores, coming kind of down on final thoughts here, Tom, I get the feeling you're probably going to have the lowest score here.
Yeah, but I don't. Again, I'm giving it a 6. So
Okay.
I don't dislike it. I think I really like Devir, and this medium box size game line they have is a pretty solid line. Like, I don't think there's been one that's been widely looked at as bad from this line.
Right.
They're all looked at very well. They're well put together. They probably make the box a little bigger. Trying to shove everything is a real pain in the neck. Is this one easier?
Yes. Oh, much easier.
How much easier? Well, Red Cathedral and the one before
And the
that.
bamboo and-
Bamboo. But, like I said, the whole thing just left me feel a little bit cold. Part of that is, and I'll admit, part of it is my anticipation for the theme. Very disappointed that it's not as strong. But even taking that out, I was like, that's interesting. There's some interesting things going on, but there's a lot of engine building games, and I prefer them to ramp up and get exciting. Like, I put this card out here and do this. Here, the ramping up was mostly end game scoring.
Right.
I agree.
And that's not as exciting for me. At the end of the game, it's cool to see how many points I get, and then you're like, and I got 70. I'm like, oh, okay. I would like some more of that ramping up during the game itself. In fact, this game, the stuff during the game itself gets worse because you're like, I can move slower. But I'm going to get a lot of points at the end. that's cool, but I want that excitement to be not at the end as much as also during the game. So I enjoyed it okay. I would play it, I suppose, again, why not? But it's a 6 for me.
Okay, I'm coming a bit higher. I'm coming in at a 7. I enjoyed it. It's very Euro. I do like the fact that it is bright, it's vibrant. I like the artwork. The artwork's fine. I'm not as enamored as I was hoping to be with the artwork, but I do like the thematic parts of it. I feel like it's just not quite there for me, but I would play it again, and I do like the mechanics it brings. I like moving around the track. I like the idea of going to different cities that haven't seen a circus yet. They get more excited. I also like the fact that I think the medium cities will like a certain performers. They love jugglers in this area. If you combine with a lion, all of a sudden they love you.
I like magicians, but yes.
Not a lot of people like magicians in this. That was kind of sad. That dropped the 2 points for me. But no, I enjoy it for what it is, but I do wish it had a bit more theme. But I would play it again. I enjoyed it.
And for me, it's a 7.5. I like this one a lot. I think that the card play is smooth. I think that it's fun to move around that map and see those big tops popping up everywhere. Mechanically, it's sound, but I do agree that what keeps it back from being even better for me, to clarify, I really enjoy it, but what keeps it back for me is just a mix of those little issues we brought up. I agree that I wish that the card play felt more exciting during the game itself, that there was a little bit more pop and excitement in that. And some of that is, yes, because this is themed as a 3-ring circus rather than, Italy, Italian city, medieval 1642 or something. But
it's my favorite game.
Yeah.
So I'm making fun of it.
But I do really like, at the end of the day, what this one is doing, how quick it plays. I think that's one of its strongest parts, actually.
I agree on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does not outstay its welcome. It moves along at a good pace. You can choose to build in certain areas, and your own circus caravans pop over towns that have already been performed in. So you can move around a little bit more as your potential to move moves less. But at the same time, that timer, the Barnum and Bailey thing, will start zooming really fast. So I think that it keeps good pace and has a lot of fun for what you get out of it. Nice box size, beautiful production. For me, it's a 7.5. So that's our look here at 3-Ring Circus from Devir. My name is Chris Yee.
I'm Joy Evans.
And I'm Tom Vasel.
Thanks for coming by. Have fun spinning plates
On a stick.
Ah!